Getting started with supplies, you're gonna need a 1/4 yard of stretchy knit fabric. And we're also gonna be testing out a few different styles of fabric like lycra, cotton, canvas, and velour. The cotton and the canvas are both non-stretch, so we're gonna see how non-stretch compares to stretch. But either way, I recommend grabbing stretchy fabric to start, and you could even recycle old t-shirts, leggings, or any stretchy garment. You'll also need 12 inches of a 1/4 inch elastic. And lastly, your pattern, and this pattern is available at properfitclothing.com. This is a free download and it comes in 3 different sizes. They're super easy to use. All you have to do is print it, tape it, and cut it out. And everything will be linked in the description below. We're gonna start by making the large pattern, and this is gonna be different from the medium and small, so go ahead and cut out your strip. Fold it in half hot dog style with right sides together. Add a few pins so it doesn't move. And you're gonna wanna start sewing about 1 inch in and finish 1 inch away from the end. And you're gonna wanna sew as close as you can to the outside edge. And it's really important to keep that inch gap at the start and end. Once it's all sewn together, go ahead and flip the right side out. Now that the right side is out, we're gonna be adding the elastic, and all the elastic for all the sizes is gonna be cut at 8.25 inches. So you're gonna wanna feed it through that strip, and there's a bunch of different techniques to do this. I found that this little tool worked pretty good, but once you have it through, you can either sew it together or tie a knot. I recommend tying a knot because once you continuously pull on it, it's gonna keep getting tighter as opposed to a stitch, which could break. Then go ahead and trim any of that elastic sticking out of the knot. Next, we're gonna take those ends and place the right sides together. And this is why you leave that 1 inch gap. It allows you to sew these ends together. And once you have them lined up, I recommend adding a few pins and then sewing as close as you can to the outside edge. And as you can see, you're gonna be left with a gap right there, and there's 2 ways to do this. You can either fold the right sides together and do a top stitch, or you can go to one edge and fold over the right sides, and this will allow you to sew more of that opening shut. You just have to be super careful not to sew over any of the other layers underneath. And as you can see, it's closing off more of that hole, and you can keep going a little bit past the side seam. Keep in mind, you're not gonna be able to close off the entire opening this way, and once you have it about to that side seam, go ahead and throw a pin in, and you can sew as close as you can to the edge and line it up with the previous stitch in the beginning. Once you have it stitched, you can go ahead and fold the right sides out by pulling that inside, and you'll be left with a way smaller opening, and from here just fold the right sides together and do an edge stitch. And this is the main reason why we did it this way, is to eliminate that huge stitch on the outside. And I recommend using thread that matches your fabric, so that way it blends in and hides the stitch. And that completes your large scrunchie. Next, we're gonna be showing you how to sew the medium and the small. The medium and the small are both sewn the same way, so go ahead and pick which one you wanna do and cut out your fabric. Once you have your fabric cut, fold it in half hot dog style with right sides together. Add a couple pins to keep it lined up, and with this one, we're gonna sew all the way through that outside edge as close as we can to that edge. We're not gonna be leaving any gaps like we did with the large. Next, you wanna pull the right sides out, and this can be a little bit tricky with how small it is. And once you have the right sides out, we're gonna go ahead and add our elastic, and this is also cut at 8.25 inches, just like the large, and the small is also cut the same length. Feed it through, and once you have it through, go ahead and tie that knot or sew it together, whatever you prefer. Trim the ends of that elastic. Give it a few good pulls because you're going to really want that knot as small as you can get it. Next, you're going to want to move that knot off to the side and feed one of the ends inside the other end. Once you have it tucked in about 1/4 inch, you want to sew as close as you can to the edge. And I recommend using a small width zigzag stitch and going back and forth a few times to really hide that raw edge. And there you have your small and medium scrunchie is complete. And here are all the sizes in comparison so you can get a good idea what they should look like in the end.
Reach the wizard.
And I did try the other fabrics. The canvas turned out a little bit different. I mean, if you're going for that look, it totally works and functions fine. The Lycra turned out really nice and it's soft and stretchy. The velour turned out a little bit stiff, but it still functions great. The cotton also turned out good, but you're going to want to watch out for fraying. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. We're going to keep the videos coming at you, so we'll see you next time.
The wizard.